Okay, so the screen I'm showing you now, which has a knock-knock joke, is from a movie called The Other Hell by Bruno Mattei, whom I love. And it's a pretty great knock-knock joke. What happens is that there's a knock on the door, and then the priest says, "Who's there?" And then a gruff voice says, "The devil!" And then the priest bursts into flames. So, yeah, that was the knock-knock joke. And who wouldn't like that? So this has 18 questions in 3 parts of 6 each, and each picture has some kind of demon along with questions worth points. So let's do it. Let's go to number 1. And I feel a little bad about showing this one because it's kind of a spoiler. Tough. The movie's old. You've had a chance to do it. And so this is the actor here, in case you didn't know, is Al Pacino. And the movie is The Devil's Advocate. And I quite liked the movie. And you're kept suspecting during most of the movie that it might be, you know, the devil. And then when it is, that's kind of cool. So anyway, on to number 2. You know, you probably already know the TV show by seeing this. The question is, can you name the character? So let's think about it for a while. And then the character, of course, is either Beelzebub or the robot devil. Either one of those will work. And what's the show? Well, duh. I mean, you can tell from the style. It's Futurama, right? So there he is, a devil robot. Though I always felt that a robot as a devil seemed kind of bogus, because the devil is very much about emotion and soul, not a soulless robot, but whatever. It's Futurama, so that's what it would do. On to number 3. So, Tom Cruise was in this movie, and for some reason he was embarrassed by being in this movie and complains about it. I don't know why. I think it's terrific. I think Tom Cruise does a great job in the movie. And man, that is a great devil suit with his huge horns. So this is, and one of the reasons this movie is great, for 2 points to name the actor, it is Tim Curry, who is always good in everything he does. And for 1 point, what's the movie? Legend. It also has a really great water witch early on in it. I like this movie. And I don't know why Tom Cruise doesn't. But anyway, on to number 4. For 1 point, can you name this actor? Come on. Who is he? He is, of course, Jack Nicholson. And what's the movie? It is The Witches of Eastwick. I also liked the fact that they remembered in this movie that witches are supposed to work for Satan, which is great. Now, George Miller directed the movie, and John Peters, who is a complete moron, was the producer. And if you don't know anything about John Peters, look him up. He's a complete moron. So John Peters, in the middle of the movie Witches of Eastwick, wanted aliens to be in the movie. It's a movie about the devil and witches. Why would there be aliens? Apparently Peters thought that the movie Aliens did well, so he should have aliens. He showed up one day with a stuntman dressed as an alien and told George Miller to put the alien in a scene, any scene. So what happened is that Miller and Jack Nicholson both left the set and wouldn't come back till Peters gave up. So I don't know how Peters, who used to be a hairdresser, made it into big time in Hollywood, but what a maroon. I mean, I guess I'm kind of glad he's big time in Hollywood because it gives me someone I can look down on who's richer than me. Okay, anyway, on to number 4. Okay, what's the movie? You know what movie this is, right? It's The Fellowship of the Ring. And what's the kind of demon? And this you should know. It is, of course, the Balrog. Note that the Balrog is the same order of being, according to Tolkien, as Gandalf, a Maiar. Technically, Sauron is also a Maiar, but he's the greatest of the Maiar. So if this was Sauron instead of a Balrog, it would be Gandalf. Now you know. Number 6. This is part 2, so they're harder, so the points are going to be more, but they're not, you know, there it is. Who is that character, huh? And what's the show? You probably guessed the show from the style, but the character is, of course, him. And this is and I don't know, it's like a girly Satan with crab claws, because why not? And I really like the Powerpuff style of art. I don't know why. It just rings somewhere in my body. Okay, number 6. This is a great movie, and this scene doesn't help you identify it, but maybe you'll figure it out anyway. This movie is, of course, The Exorcist, and if you didn't guess that, you may now be able to figure out who the demon is. This demon is from Mesopotamia. He is the ruler of the wind and pestilence, and he is Pazuzu. And he does not, in fact, show up in the movie exactly. He possesses the little girl, and a statue of him shows up in a vision, which is kind of cool. I like that. Because, of course, the demon doesn't have a physical body. He's a spirit, because that's what demons are. Even according to my religion, that's what they are. Okay, on to the next movie. This is a really weird one, so good luck. Look, it's the devil. Who is that actor? Do you recognize him? Look closely, and you will see that this is Roddy McDowall as the devil. And what TV show did Roddy McDowall play the devil at? Well, before you Google it up, it is Fantasy Island. But I think he's actually supposed to be the real devil, even though it's Fantasy Island. So the devil shows up in Fantasy Island, and that's kind of weird because Fantasy Island grants you your fantasy, but like, isn't that what the devil does? Is grant you your fantasy? Anyway, whatever. I guess I shouldn't look too much into the philosophy of Fantasy Island because that way lies madness. Number 9. Woohoo! I love this movie. I loved it a lot as a kid. It had a big influence on me. It is, of course, Fantasia. That's 1 point. Next point. What's the classical music they play this for? Well, of course, it is Night on Bald Mountain. And in Italy, a friend of mine hates Fantasia because he's a classical movie guy, and he doesn't like the fact that they changed the Primeval Suite. I can't think of the name of it, but the one with the dinosaurs. They changed Stravinsky's music on that one. He was very offended that they would do that for the movie, but I like the dinosaur sequence anyway. Anyway, who is this demon in Night on Bald Mountain? It is Chernobog, who is usually seen as a god of evil for the East German Slavs, who are not around anymore, but they used to be. And they had a god of evil, and it was Chernobog. So there he is. Number 10. This is the only real scene we get of the devil in it, so they have to do everything they can to make him look like the devil, and so you see that he has, like, slit pupils and red eyes, and that's about the best they can do. Presumably, if you saw the other parts of him, he'd be scary too. 4 points. Name it. It's a movie you've heard of, because it is Rosemary's Baby. So there. You've heard of it, right? Rosemary's Baby? This is the only scene you see of the devil in it. Number 11. I like this movie a lot. I loved it back in the day. Who is the actor? That is none other than Ernest Borgnine. Now, it also features William Shatner in a starring role, and he does surprisingly well. Now, someone in the comments is going to say that John Travolta was in this movie, and yeah, he is, but he has one line, and he could have been cut with 0 changes to the movie. He didn't need to be here, but Ernest Borgnine and William Shatner are necessary for the movie. And what is the movie? It is The Devil's Reign, and they plugged it as being very exciting because at the end of the movie all the Satanists melt, which they do, but actually they kind of undersell themselves because the rest of the movie is pretty great too with the evil Satanists, so I liked it a lot. And you don't need to worry. I mean, yeah, there is the big showpiece at the end where they all melt, but the main thing is that it's a good movie about Satanists, and it has Ernest Borgnine with goat horns, so, or maybe they're sheep horns, who can tell? Anyway, he doesn't look like this throughout the whole movie, just like when he transforms. And it's not really clear why the Satanists melt either. They give a reason, but it's like their souls are released. Well, why would they melt? Well, it doesn't matter. They melt. In part 3, this is a great bad guy. I love this actor. This is, of course, David Warner. And what's the movie where David Warner plays the ultimate evil? Well, it is Time Bandits. And this is, I remember distinctly when he decides he's going to kill his minions, the minions say thank you, because it sucks to be his minion, apparently. So, yeah, that makes sense. Number 12, David Warner, Time Bandits. On to number 13. Woohoo! For 2 points, name the movie. For 3 points, name the character. The movie is, it's kind of a spoiler, sorry, but the movie is The Witch. And the character is the goat named Black Phillip. And I won't say why it's a spoiler, but it is. So we'll just move on. Number 14. Who is this actor? Don't feel bad, I had to look it up myself. It's Mark Pellegrino, and he's the devil. And the TV show is Supernatural. So this is their version of the devil. And technically, as a Latter-day Saint, my demons are supposed to look like humans too. Although they don't actually have bodies. I mean, they're shaped like a human, but they're a spirit. You can see the spirits. Anyway, I don't need to go into my theology, I guess. We'll go on to number 15. Oh yeah, here's a great demon. So this movie is one of my favorite movies, and it is The Devil Rides Out, featuring Christopher Lee in a rare heroic role, and Charles Gray in a common for him villainous role. I guess Charles Gray is more villainous than Christopher Lee, so he gets to be the villain. So, and who is this demon? Well, it's the devil. What do they call him in the movie? They call him the Goat of Mendez, and he's really great because he doesn't come after them. He is just there being evil because he doesn't have to go kill you. He wants your soul, and that's what he wants throughout this movie. He wants the soul, so that's cool. I liked it a lot. Anyway, I recommend The Devil Rides Out. Number 16. This is an old silent movie which has a lot of weird things in it. It's kind of a semi-documentary, and it is in fact Haxan. 5 points if you got that, by the way. Haxan. There's 2 dots. There's an umlaut, or whatever they call it, over the A, so maybe it's really Hexen. Anyway, it's about witchcraft and evil, and it's weird, but it's fun weird. And now we'll go on to the last film, the last one. You know, I said there was going to be 18, but it turns out there were 17, so deal with it. So what's this movie? 3 points, name it. It is Rock and Roll Nightmare, and it's kind of lame and terrible, so I can't really recommend it, but it also has Who is Satan's Enemy in it? Archangel Triton. So it has an angel fighting the devil. Is it good? Lord, no. But it has terrible rock and roll, and it has a devil, and it has an angel. And yeah, so if you need to see a movie about evil, an 80s movie about evil demon things, there's better choices. So let's look at the last slide. There are 67 possible points. I know that's an odd number. You'll have to deal with that because life is pain. And how'd you do? Oh, by the way, if you decide to see the movie I referenced at the very start of this thing, which was The Other Hell, be aware that it is completely bonkersly weird and bad, but fun. Like, for example, the director doesn't seem to know that a tape recorder doesn't show images. Like little things like that. Also, another great thing is it explains what happened in the movie, because like a lot of movies do at the end, and then it gives another explanation which contradicts the first, and then it gives a third explanation that contradicts the other two, so it kind of like doesn't have any idea what the solution to the problems are. It's like they said, you need to explain it better. So instead of explaining it better, he gave you another contradictory explanation. So anyway, whatever. Okay, so subscribe and click for notifications if you want to be annoyed every week. And buy this thing that they're showing a picture of. And the reason I never say what it is they're showing is because I'm never sure what it is that my marketing department wants to plug this week. But they're always something good that I'm sure you will love. So you should buy it or consider buying it.